is making its way through the Sacramento legislative process as we speak. It is a pretty problematic effort to eliminate cash bail in California. And joining me on the DeMaio Report is candidate for State Attorney General, Judge Stephen Bailey. Stephen, thanks so much for stopping by.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me today.
All right, so eliminate cash bail. Most of my listeners probably don't understand what cash bail is because they've never had to use it, so that's a good thing. Explain what it is.
Well, cash bail is the process where you put up 10% of the bail schedule amount and you're released out of custody. That's the current system. Most people are out in roughly a couple hours after they're taken into custody. A few people remain in custody for either serious offenses or the fact that they can't make bail, and when they see a judge, if it's a lower level offense, most judges OR the people.
So if someone says, hey, we're setting your bail at $250,000, you got to come up with $25,000 cash.
Right. And if you're setting a bail at $250,000, you've committed, some type of royal offense. It could be rape. It could be assault with a firearm. It could be something very, very serious. And society doesn't want them on the street, and the judge doesn't want them on the street.
All right, so you get $25,000. It's a serious crime at that point, or if it's $100,000, it's $10,000 because it's 10%. If you skip out on your bail, what happens?
Well, because bail is generally set up in such a way that there are other people signing on and co-signing, you've got family members out looking for them, encouraging them to get to court. Obviously, warrants are going to go out and you're going to arrest people. But, quite frankly, right now we've got some 1.7 million warrants active in the system because even people who put, post bail don't always show up. And when you eliminate bail altogether, no cash bail in California, and let almost everyone out of custody within 12 hours, you'll double the number of warrants. Not only that, you will put such a strain on the criminal justice system with serious violent offenders out on the street that all of us are going to be in danger.
All right, so the SB 10 bill, what are the problems with it?
Well, a number. Number one, it has a checklist, essentially a piece of paper that somebody's going to go down and check and ultimately determine that nobody's a threat to society. Because how do you determine whether somebody is going to go out and recommit new crimes in the future? And under this particular bill, there's going to be no way to monitor. It'll cost us collectively in California maybe up to $3.8 billion a year to run the system. That's coming out of your pocket as a taxpayer. And we won't get justice in the state. We will be rewarding criminals for being crooks.
All right. So what is the argument to get rid of bail? I mean, is it just a bunch of people who say, oh, these poor criminals, why are we making it such a hard process? Let's just let them out. Are they just simply seeking to make it easier for criminals?
Well, it certainly appears that way because that's been what has been taking place in Sacramento over the last 4 years. And there's absolutely no leadership being shown by either the governor. Well, actually, the governor's showing leadership. He wants to let these people out. The attorney general is doing nothing to protect you and I. And that's unfortunate. It's sad. When you have your chief law enforcement officer in the state doing nothing to protect you and I, our kids, our grandkids, that's dereliction of duty.
All right, so it looks like this is going to pass, though. It's making its way pretty rapidly through the court, the legislative system. Is that your take as well? Because what I'm hearing is it looks like it's got the votes.
Well, everything looks like they have the votes until the public begins to be heard. And, what goes on in Sacramento, it appears that nobody listens to voters. But I'll tell you, if your listeners get on the phone today, start calling Republicans, Democrats, call the Bob Hertzberg, who's the author of this bill, tell him that you oppose this, that you want to be safe in your homes and in your communities, that this bail reform, exactly what happened in New Mexico the other day, where those terrorists were let out of jail because the judge, by clear and convincing evidence, couldn't find that they would be a danger to the public. That's going to happen here in California. And we as citizens have an opportunity right now to stop this. Get on the phone, call the governor's office, call your legislator, tell them to oppose and vote against this bill and fight it. It's not lost until the final vote's taken.
All right, and obviously you're running for California's Attorney General. You'd be the top cop, the senior law enforcement officer for the state. And, of course, I want to see you in that office because the guy that's in there right now, Javier Becerra, to take the trash out, we got to get rid of him. Give us your website for people to learn more about your candidacy for Attorney General.
Well, it's www.baileyforag.com. That's BAILEYFORAG.com. Go on there, look, you can volunteer, you can donate, but in particular, I want to reiterate again, get on the phone, call your legislator, tell them you oppose this mess that they're creating in California, putting all of us in danger.
All right. Judge Stephen Bailey running for Attorney General, speaking out against Senate Bill 10, which would basically do away with any bail requirements for criminals in California. They'd get off scot-free. Appreciate